Afternoon, everyone. What a lovely day. I'm actually feeling okay. Not okay. I'm not okay. That's such a lie. Such a lie. But I am in a much better place. So this video isn't going to be as dark as last week, and I think you can actually tell that with my eyes. Well, a little bit, but I actually don't look too hobo-ish. I mean, I've got the hat on, but before I get into like the main crux of the video, I just want to really say a huge thank you to everyone over the last 2 weeks for the last two videos, all the comments, and I mean all the comments, messages of support and showing love, and to really show me that I do have some self-worth and importance, and yeah, I mean that's why I'm, without beating around the bush, that's why I'm still here. So really thank you, truly, all of you. I really appreciate it. And please know that if the shoe was on the other foot and it was someone else, that maybe someone else I didn't even really know that well, I'd reach out. So again, thank you for showing me that the world isn't all that bad. It means everything to me. It really does. I am going to freestyle a little bit today because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to talk about. Because like I say, the horrifically dark thoughts are numbed a little bit. They are numbed a little bit. They're still very much there, which I'm going to get onto, I think, a little bit later. But I think this week is, well, this video has been a lot about realization and understanding certain matters and understanding how I operate. Now, because of this self-realization, I think that the main thing that I've started to accept, well, not started to accept, I do accept now, are my, I'm going to use the word failings, but I don't mean it in the extreme kind of depressive kind of way that I've said before. I'm talking about my failings within relationships. Now, for those that watched the very first video, would have noticed that I would have said partner. Within the last couple of weeks, myself and my now ex-partner have separated. I mentioned briefly last week, I think, through a world of tears, that it was the right thing, and it was. Doesn't mean that I didn't love her or care for her, and it certainly doesn't mean that I looked in the direction of anyone else in the entire time. But sometimes things just aren't meant to be, and part of life, which is what I'm now coming to realise, is that sometimes that happens, and that's okay. Fortunately, I've known that person for a long time, and I'm hoping that there's some kind of friendship there. But if there's not, then, you know, and we can't be friends, then I'll accept that. But I'm also now at the age where I have no grudges to bear with anyone. Even people that may have wronged me quite badly, you know, may have trolled me a bit from these videos, for instance. I'm joking. But no, I don't hold any grudges for anyone or to anyone, and all I want to do is enjoy my life. And I think that the pressures that I've put on myself previously in relationships. I've been the downfall of the fact that they've not worked, and that's the failing side of things. And this all comes probably from the BPD, where, you know, I've just felt like I've needed a lot of reassurance. I was going to say a bit of reassurance, but that's not true. I've always needed a lot of reassurance. But then I think about that, and I that's always what I've needed from friends as well. So it doesn't quite come from, you know, romantic relationships. It comes from friendships as well. And sometimes, because of this BPD, when I have been shown love and affection, whether it be romantically or just in a platonic kind of way, I can't think of the word, unconditional kind of way, that you get from family. I've not accepted it. I've not accepted it for what it was, because I've never felt that I was good enough. So I've always needed to hear it from other people. And that's a really sad realization, but it's also such an important one, because now I know the issues behind all of this. I can work on myself. And, you know, I've said for years and years that, like, and friends have said to me before as well, if I can't love myself, how can anyone love me? But someone, actually a family member, who was down in Cornwall the other day and still reached out, which I'm so thankful for, spun that round a little bit and said, whilst I am right in one kind of way, if I don't love myself, how could I love anyone else? And that was so profound, because that was such a strong realization. And I've never taken the time to know what I truly enjoy doing. I've always had a fear of being alone. Always. You know, whether that is through actually being single, and I won't lie, being single does terrify me, because I'm not very good at it. But I also think that's because I've never really enjoyed my own company, and which then brings me on to the fact that I don't do very well on my own, just being alone. And that's really quite sad, because there are so many people that, I don't know what happened there, sorry, I just had a mind blank. There are so many people that are so happy to be on their own, like so happy in their own company. And for years I just thought, well, that's a front. No one could think like that, surely. But maybe it's right. Maybe there are a lot of people that do just want to be on their own and be in their own company. And this is part of the realization. I mentioned relationships and putting additional pressure on people because of me needing that additional kind of affirmation and appropriation of feeling loved or feeling wanted. You know, and the reason that a lot of relationships haven't worked with me, well, I mean, every relationship, really, every relationship hasn't worked, is because whatever they've given me, it's never been enough. I've always needed more. And, you know, when you think about that and you're actually on the outside of that, that's got to hurt. That's got to hurt so much. So for any, and I mean any recent 10 years ago, any ex-partner that's watching this right now, I know obviously a lot that I haven't got on social media anymore, and I understand the reasons behind that, but for those that do, or are friends of those people, I am genuinely sorry that I've made you ever feel Maybe that you weren't good enough. I never intended that. I never intended that. Whilst I might not be crying right now, like, I can't stress to you how sad I am that someone that I thought was my forever person is no longer. But that's why I've now got to go on this really important journey that means that I can strive for more for myself, to be happy. This is the first week where, and it's not just like the last couple of weeks either, because my depression, anxiety and BPD has been going on for a long time, but I'm now at the stage where I want to be in this world for me. So I've started doing, you know, some things that I know that I want. I've inquired about getting a dog, and whilst I couldn't quite make it on Monday to you know, go and get that sorted and go and have a look properly, I have been in dialogue with those, and I had a brief visit as well, and there is a little border collie that might be coming home with me in a couple of weeks. I just need to go through some financial stuff to get that all sorted, and yeah, there's a lot of good things that are coming, and I think I can be happy again. I'm not saying like everyone can fuck off now. Like, far from it. You know, I recently I've got serious conversations about not living at home at my house at the moment. When I say house, my apartment in West Bridgeford, because of the associations I have with it, which is mental, really. You know, your home is your happy place, or it's meant to be. I mean, but right now it's a shithole. It's a shithole because I've been so down and not wanting to be there, because everywhere I look gives me different memories that are happy memories, but I've, in an oxymoronic kind of way, have made me feel quite sad. It's time to get that sorted. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my apartment sorted and make it my happy place. For me. No one else. For me. I mentioned briefly that I actually stayed at a friend's the other night. Well, I've been staying at a few people's houses because I've not wanted to go back to the apartment, but last night in particular I stayed at one of my oldest, closest friends, and I actually lived with this person back in 2016 before I went to university, when I had a bit of a falling out with parents, and their family took me in, and when things got tough again and when I went to university, I ran away and hardly spoke again, and that's not good enough from my side of things. And once again, the realisation is that that family are not the only people that I've done that with. Sorry, I've just noticed they've got a crack in the window. But I'd say her name because she needs a name. In Sarah, her mum calls me son, and she's an amazing woman. So, and I know you're watching, so thank you. Her sister Sammy as well, and even her partner Luke, who, to be honest, I've only had a couple of interactions with. Even after all this time, Sammy was like, I saw her in Asda the other day, and she was so happy to see me. She gave us the biggest cuddle. And then another one. And then Sarah later on that evening said, you know, that Luke was even asking about me, because they were concerned. And you know, as horrible as it is that it was concerned because things were very dark and very trivial, it's so nice to know that I'm loved by people that's outside my family. But I'm also realising now that my family just love me so much. Whilst my mum and dad might do me head in, they just want the best for me, and they've always only ever wanted the best for me. And that's probably why they get annoyed or get angry and things like that, and I appreciate it. But just people on the periphery of my family, my cousins, second cousins, aunts, uncles, brother, and some really close mates have really stepped up. Not that they've never been away, but they've really stepped up. And whilst life is hard, I think I can see for the first time in this video that I've actually got a little bit of a glimmer in my eye. And I hadn't had that for a long time. You know, there's a few people I do want to mention in particular as well. You know, because I know, as I've said, of relationships, that my need for reassurance has cost me. You know, it has probably cost me a great deal, and you know, and that's why my friends sometimes get pissed off us, but I never mean anything by it. You know, Ben Wilson, God, he does me head in. But I love him to the moon and back. Love him. Joe Cowlin, he must fucking hate me, because he gets the brunt end of it, bless him. But every single time he's there. And whilst sometimes he'll show me love, he'll show me tough love as well. And I need that sometimes, because I need to just get a fucking grip. Just because I'm feeling okay today doesn't mean that next week I'm going to be feeling okay. So for now, because I've been rambling on for nearly 18 minutes, I'm going to let you all go. Because I've got my therapy session tomorrow. But my plan for this week is I've set myself a little goal to get my apartment sorted whilst I started painting it the other day, because it was something I said since May last year. There's still much more of the apartment to do, and I also said that it's been a bit of a shithole because I've just ignored it. So that's my aim for this time next week, is that I'm going to get my apartment sorted and turn it back into my happy place. And that's the goal. Just please know, everyone, that I truly love you all. You've all been so amazing, and just because, like I say, I'm happy this week doesn't mean I'm going to be okay next week. So it's not the end of these videos. I'm going to keep going, but I appreciate every single one of you. And when I'm better and when we've got time, maybe we can all just go and have a beer.